Hello, my name's Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. I've got a really good Q&A today that comes into Leerburg through the Ask Cindy portal. We try and pick good questions like this one and put them out in our social media channels. Now, we get a lot of them. Every day we get a lot of them. Cindy answers these questions every morning. She gets up at 5, feeds the horses, come in, and before I get up, she has her cup of coffee and answers the Ask Cindy questions. And we try and pick the ones that are really good, that we think are common questions, and bring them into these videos. So this one's good, because probably every new dog trainer is going to find themselves at some point in time where they have a problem with their dog coming when called. So within the foundation of the recall, we're going to talk about it here. And the question is this: our puppy, and she has a 16-month-old young dog, we still will often call them puppies. Our puppy has developed the habit of not coming when loose in the backyard, which is fenced at home. He's 16 months old. He's especially bad if he has a ball. Our obedience and agility has been pretty good with recalls. Actually, he listens when he's in class. Then, when he comes home and he has a ball, he has no interest in treats. So, our breeder, did suggest giving him daily food by hand as a reward for coming. It's not a bad idea. If he does not get rewarded enough during training, so the rewards don't match his normal daily food portion, do we feed him the rest of the food portion at the end of training? No, you don't. But I'll talk about why. Do we need to go back to where all of his outdoor time is on a long line and his indoor time is on a leash? Yes, but we'll talk about that later. This is hard to do with a healthy, energetic puppy. I understand. It is. But that's tough. He's not coming when you call him. Thank you. We use Leerburg frequently for training information and ordering our training toys and tools. So, really good questions. I kind of made some snide comments and didn't mean for them to be snide because these are common questions and everybody's going to have them. But she's right. This dog needs to go back on leash. Dogs go through developmental stages, and there's nothing wrong for backing up your training on a young dog like that to remind them that you have rules and you have expectations and you're fair, but they have to earn the right to have some of the privileges that you're about to offer, which is to go outside and run around and play with your ball and for them to earn the food you're going to give them. Keep that in the back of your mind. You're not hurting the dog by not feeding them the rest of their daily portion if they have not worked enough to earn the food that you're going to give them. And like what your breeder said, give them their daily food supply by the hand. Well, the concept is, on a young dog, you divide up and figure out how much food you're going to feed throughout the day and divide it like we feed our dogs twice a day. So we would have the set amount in a bowl here and the set amount in a bowl here, and we feed an all-natural diet, and we figure out how much they have. And so when it comes time for training sessions, we'll basically take food that equals this training session, and we use that as rewards for training. Some people can do it a little differently. Some people know instinctually, I'm going to go out and I'm going to train my dog, and I'm going to give him all this food, and in my back of my mind, I figure there's this much left, and I'll bring him in and I'll feed him. But what if they don't do it? There is nothing wrong for a dog to skip that feeding session. And if at the end of the day he's not doing well enough again, don't feed him that day. There's nothing wrong with letting a dog miss 24 hours and really 48 hours of food. That's how you build food drive in a dog. Once they learn, there's a possibility that they might not get food for 24 or 48 hours. Watch their food drive come up. Because they'll learn that, hey, Yeah, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to go for another day without eating. Their food drive will go from here to here. And they don't forget that. 99% of them, when you do that once or twice, giving them food rewards means something to them. So don't think you're hurting the dog. As long as you give them water, you can't take water away from a dog. So there's nothing wrong for us to remind our dogs that we're the gateway for having things that they really want. And what do they want? They want food, they want to play, and they want to be free and loose and running around the house. We control that, and they have to learn that we control that. Remember, 16-month-old dogs are like teenagers. We can revoke the privilege for a teenager to remind them that there are rules that they have to live with. Same thing goes with our adolescent dogs. And really, for young puppies, I'm not sure I'd be taking food away from us, an 8-week-old or a 10-week-old puppy. But when they get to be as old as this dog, you can certainly do it. As far as his exercise go, he can also learn that fun things come through you. Fun things can come for restrained recalls in your backyard. They can come for tug games in the backyard. The fact is that mental stimulation with a young dog can be just as good of exercise as physical exercise in a backyard. Keep that in mind. Taking a dog out and teaching them new things can be something, I won't say it's stressful for a dog, but it certainly provides a degree of mental exercise. And you'll see when you bring your dogs in and put them in the crate or put them in the X-pen, they'll lay down. Let them lay down and think about it. There's nothing wrong with that. But keep in mind, if my dog won't come when it's in the backyard and it won't come and bring a ball to me, it has to go on a long line. It hasn't earned the right to run around free in the backyard. And if you introduce them to the consequences of not coming by losing their food for a while, they're going to have a complete change of attitude. And it'll be a good change without you having to go out there and correct the snot out of them. That's really not necessary. That doesn't build drive. That just possibly wrecks your relationship with your dog. We want a dog that's engaged with us. We want to have a good relationship with the dog. And putting them away without their food reward because they wouldn't come for it, that's not the same thing as giving them a crank on a prong collar for not coming. You can force a dog to come with a prong collar. You can force a dog to come with a remote collar. You can force a dog to come with a line and a slip collar, but why not make them want to come? That's the kind of attitude that we want to have on our dogs. Now, if you have a question for us, go to the Ask Cindy portal. It can be a question on training, it can be a question on breeding, it can be a question on health for your dogs. And if we can't answer you with a good, honest answer, or at least give you information on where to look for the answer, we're going to tell you. We're not going to blow smoke at you. That's not the way that we do business. And Leerburg can be a resource for you to learn things. We take the best questions like this, and we put them in a database that's searchable for the people that come. And right now there's like 3,700 Q&As in that database, but that's not all we get. There's literally thousands we don't put in there. We don't put the same question in again and again and again and again. So go to Leerburg.com if you want to see some really good online training, and if you want really good training products. The only thing we sell are products that Cindy and I will use on our own dogs. That's the way it's been for 40 years that I've been producing dog training videos, and that's the way it'll be forever.